Imagine you have everything you've ever wanted. You're at the very top. You're powerful, you're respected, you're a genius. And then, just like that, it's all snatched away. This isn't some new thriller, This is the real story of one of history's greatest thinkers and the incredible book he wrote while he was on death row. We're going to explore how he built a fortress in his mind even as the prison walls were closing in around him. So let's meet our guy, Boethius. We're talking the early 6th century here, and this man is basically the definition of success. He's a consul in the kingdom that rules Italy, a famous scholar translating Plato and Aristotle, and he's a top advisor to the king. For all intents and purposes, he is on top of the entire world. And then, the crash. He gets accused of treason by a king who's getting more and more paranoid. Boethius is stripped of everything, his reputation, his freedom, his whole future. He's tossed into a prison, and he's been condemned to die a really violent death. His entire world has just completely collapsed. And it's from this place of total despair, that Boethius asks a question that has, haunted people for thousands of years. If the universe is supposed to be good and rational, why do horrible things happen to good people? How are you supposed to find any meaning when everything has been so unfairly ripped away from you? So, Section 1, a prisoner's desperate question. To really get his answer, we first have to understand just how shockingly fast his world fell apart. Just take a look at this timeline. You can see his rise was meteoric. By 522, he's the master of offices. That's basically the king's chief of staff. But look how quickly it all just unravels. In 524, he's accused, imprisoned, and then executed. All of it happens in just a matter of months. It is an absolutely brutal, sudden flip of the coin. Section 2, the soul's stern physician. So, in his darkest hour, just wallowing in self-pity, Boethius gets a visitor. But it's not a priest, it's not a lawyer, it's an idea come to life. This is Lady Philosophy. And let me tell you, she is not there to offer him a shoulder to cry on. She's this powerful, awe-inspiring figure. Her height changes, showing she can grasp everything from earthly problems to cosmic truths. The ladder on her robe, connecting practice and theory, that's the path to enlightenment. And that torn fabric? That's what happens when people just grab at little bits of wisdom without trying to understand the whole picture. She's a stern physician, not a gentle nurse. Lady Philosophy's diagnosis is just stunning. She tells Boethius his problem isn't the king, it isn't the prison. His problem is amnesia. He's forgotten who he really is and what the world is really like. All his suffering, it's just a symptom of this deep, deep forgetfulness. Section 3, Unchained from Fortune's Wheel. So her first prescription is a totally radical reframing of his entire life. She has to teach him about the nature of luck itself and how to actually break free from its power over him. Philosophy brings up this famous idea of the rota fortunae, the wheel of fortune. And she basically tells Boethius, you're mad at fortune for being exactly what she is, fickle. Expecting things like wealth and power to last forever is like expecting the tide not to change. By its very nature, the wheel has to turn. Complaining when you hit the bottom is just as silly as being surprised when you fall from the top. So this is the crucial part, this distinction right here. The things fortune gives you, money, status, all that, they were never actually yours to begin with. They're just loans. Your real possessions, the stuff that builds the fortress in your mind, are things like virtue and reason. And those are the only things that can't be taken away from you by some paranoid king or a random turn of the wheel. Okay, Section 4, the true source of happiness. So if happiness isn't found in fortune's gifts, then where is it? Philosophy leads Boethius on a logical hunt to find the one thing that can never, ever be taken away. She just systematically takes down every single false idea of happiness. You chase wealth, it just makes you more anxious. You want power, it makes you a target for others. Fame? It's just what a bunch of strangers think of you. Pleasure? It's temporary, it's animalistic. Each of these things is just a broken piece of the real thing. And this all leads to the final destination. True happiness, the summum bonum, has to be a perfect, complete state that has all good within itself. For Boethius, the source of all goodness in the entire universe is God. So to be truly happy is to become one with that highest good through virtue and contemplation. Section 5, freedom in God's eyes. But, okay, this leads to the trickiest questions of all. If an all-good, all-powerful God is running the show, why is Boethius, a good man, suffering so much? And if God knows everything we're going to do,
Are we really free? Well, philosophy explains it with this really important distinction. Providence is God's perfect, eternal viewpoint. It's like seeing the whole design of a tapestry all at once. Fate, on the other hand, is our limited experience down here in time, where we only see one messy, tangled thread at a time. So what looks like total chaos and injustice to us is just a necessary part of a perfect, ordered whole from God's point of view.
Okay, this is the intellectual climax of the whole book. Boethius throws out the ultimate objection. If God can see the whole tapestry, including every move I'm ever going to make, how can my choices possibly be free? Am I not just acting out a script that's already been written?
And this is where the solution is just genius. Philosophy argues that we're thinking about God's knowledge in the wrong way. God doesn't exist in time, looking ahead into the future. God exists outside of time, in this eternal now, where all of history, past, present, and future, is all happening at once. Think about it like this. When you see a person walking down the street, the fact that you see them doesn't cause them to walk. You're just observing their free action as it happens. Well, for God, all of our free actions throughout all of time are just happening in his eternal present. His knowledge doesn't cancel out our freedom, it actually confirms it. Section 6. A Consolation Through Time. Boethius was executed shortly after writing all of this, but his final work, this dialogue he wrote in a dungeon, would go on to shape Western thought for centuries to come. For over 1,500 years, from the Dark Ages all the way to the digital age, this text, written in a prison cell, has been this incredible source of wisdom and comfort. Its influence is almost impossible to overstate. Kings, queens, poets, philosophers, they all turned to Boethius. We're talking King Alfred the Great, Chaucer, Queen Elizabeth I, who translated it while she herself was a prisoner. How amazing is that? And Dante, who literally placed Boethius in heaven in his masterpiece. It became a core text for understanding philosophy, God, and, what it means to be human. This one line, it really captures the heart of the entire consolation. The power to define our experience doesn't lie in our circumstances, it lies in our minds. The prison is outside. The mind can always remain free. And so, Boethius leaves us with his final, really challenging thought. We spend so much of our lives trying to control the uncontrollable, trying to fix that wheel of fortune so it always lands in our favor. But what if the real work, the true path to a peace you can't shake, lies entirely inside us? What if real power isn't found in changing our fate, but in building a fortress of the mind that no turn of the wheel can ever conquer?